Good morning, yogis. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kassandra, and this morning's vinyasa practice is going to be done without the use of props, and none of the poses will be bearing any weight on your hands. So a great flow to do without any down dog, no planks, no tabletop poses, just to give your wrists and your arms a bit of a break. So we're going to begin lying down on our backs in reclined butterfly pose. So you can lay on down, soles of your feet coming together to touch, and just letting your knees fall open. And you might reach your arms up overhead or keep your arms down alongside your legs, just whatever feels the best for you here. Try to relax the muscles in your thighs so that your knees can just drop with the help of gravity, pulling them closer towards the floor. And this is a wonderful pose to help us tune into our breath. So see if you can feel your abdomen and your lower belly expand. So lifting your belly button up towards the sky as you breathe in. And as you exhale, really feel your belly button drop down towards the floor. So letting all of the air out. And keep taking a few breaths just like this, inhaling and exhaling through your nose. And trying to get your inhale to be as long as the exhale. Checking in to see how you're feeling this morning. And we'll use this practice to set our intention for the day ahead. Take one more full breath in this pose. And you can stretch your legs straight, reach your arms up overhead, lengthen out from your fingertips down to your toes. And we're going to bend the knees so our feet are flat to the floor, coming into a variation of reclined pigeon pose. So you can cross your right ankle over the top of your left knee and just relax your arms by your sides. Flex your foot and use your glutes to help press and reach your knee and your thigh away from your chest. And all we're going to do here is inhale, try to lift your left leg and left foot off the floor and see if you can bring that foot in closer towards your chest. Exhale to hold and maybe rock a little bit side to side. So normally we do this pose by holding on with our hands, but this can be a really nice way to also activate other areas of the body without relying on our arm strength to get us into a stretch. So just rocking a little bit, see if you can squeeze it in. And now come back to center, let your left foot come back to the floor. Keep this figure four shape. Keep pressing your knee down, squeeze into your glutes and lift up into a variation of bridge pose. So we'll move in and out of those poses. Lower down and then bring up, reclined pigeon. Exhale, left foot down, squeeze and pick up your hips. Keep that figure four shape. Two more like this, bring it in. And lower down, press into your hips. Keep pushing your knee and thigh down. Last one here. Try to relax your shoulders, relax your arms, push and lift up. And let's release down, uncross your legs, both feet flat on the floor this time, full bridge pose. So both feet pushing down into the floor in order to lift your hips up as high as they can go. Keep hugging in through your inner thighs. And carefully rolling down inch by inch. And let's switch sides, left ankle over the top of your right knee. And again, think of pressing and reaching that thigh away from you. And then you might start to lift your right foot off the floor as you stretch over on the other side. And I really like just to rock a little bit, but you might prefer to stay still. So setting the intention for the day ahead. What is one word that represents how you want to feel today? pressing your right knee into your left foot. And we'll move in and out. So right foot comes down to the floor. Squeeze your glutes, push into your heel to lift your hips up, and see if you can press that left thigh down at the same time. Hips come down and squeeze it in, reclined pigeon pose. And now lift it up, one-legged bridge. Exhale to lower, squeeze it in. Push up. Squeeze. And our last one here, reclined pigeon into that one-legged bridge. Really activate through your legs, soften your arms, and lower down, uncross your legs and come back into that reclined butterfly pose. And this time you're going to push your feet into the floor and see if you can pick up and squeeze to lift your hips off the mat while also trying to push your knees down. So I've been working with a lot of different variations of these poses, working on outer and inner hip and lower down. So go ahead and straighten your legs and flip over onto your belly. We're going to make our way into our Sphinx pose. So your forearms come down to the ground, spread your fingertips wide, and broaden through your chest as you roll your shoulders back. As you reach long through your legs, think of pushing your feet into the floor, pushing your pubic bone into the ground, and finding a little bit more lift as you stretch out of your lower back. So no pinching, no compression here, just an expansion through your upper back, through the front of the heart, even through the throat. And let's release. Find your way into a wide-legged child's pose. Big toes together. Knees apart, reach your hips towards your heels as you soften down. And you can really place your arms wherever you'd like here, whichever variation feels the best to you. And this is another pose where we can really connect to that deep belly breath. So as you inhale, think of pressing your belly button towards the floor. And as you exhale, really draw the navel in and up. So engaging a little bit through your abdominals. And we'll start to lift back up. And from here, we're making our way into Mullah or Yogi Squat. So however you'd like to get there, you can just tuck your toes under. So you want your heels turned in, toes turned out. And you can use your elbows to push your knees open a little bit wider as you lift and lengthen up through your chest. So we're trying to find a nice, long, straight spine, dropping the hips down towards the floor. So a very similar stretch to our child's pose, but see if you can emphasize this rolling down of the shoulders away from your ears, pressing and lifting up. And we'll release the hands down, feet parallel towards the longer edges of your mat for your Ragdoll Fold. So Ragdoll Fold here, you can maybe hold on to your elbows or let your arms dangle, whatever feels the best. You can absolutely bend your knees as you sway a little bit side to side, relaxing your head, relaxing your neck. And fully releasing whatever doesn't serve you on the exhale. So any kind of tension, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, we are clearing our slate for this brand new day. And you might exaggerate this swaying side to side to really get into the side body. Maybe straightening the opposite leg. So if you sway to the left, see if you can straighten your right leg. And when you go to the right, straighten the left leg. And keep going back and forth here a few times. Coming all the way to center, release your arms, bend your knees a little bit more and roll all the way up to stand inch by inch. And make your way to the top of the mat. Feet hip width distance apart or so, hands together at your heart. Lean onto your right leg so that you can step the left foot all the way back, coming into your high lunge. So feet should be about hip width distance apart here. Both hips, shoulders, everything facing forward. And think of reaching your tailbone down, drawing your lower belly in. So really engaging core strength. And if you'd like, you can stretch your arms up overhead, rolling your shoulders down and away from your ears. Sink down a tiny bit lower. And as you exhale, reach your arms back and start to tilt forward. Think of rolling your shoulders back here. So it's almost like a little cobra pose, almost as if you were doing a back bend, but really it's just going to keep your spine straight. See if you can bend your front knee a little more, really activating and strengthening through our quads, through our glutes. Inhale, come all the way back to center and bring your hands together at the front of your heart. Go ahead and bring your back foot in just so that you can ground your back heel to the mat, setting ourselves up for a pyramid pose. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, start to tilt, so hinging and tipping forward from the waist. You can bend a little bit into your front knee if you need to, but instead see if you can just keep your chest hovering when you find that edge. So this is not about going all the way down to the mat. As much as we are stretching the backs of the legs, we're also trying to strengthen them by keeping ourselves in this pose in alignment. Lengthen the crown of your head forward, roll your shoulders back, find that little cobra pose again so that you're not rounding and contracting. Push into your feet, come all the way up. And now we're gonna step to the top of the mat. Lift your left knee up once more, and this time cross your left ankle over the top of your right knee and start to sit back. Your standing pigeon pose. So my hips are reaching back and my chest is going in the opposite direction, reaching forward. And just like what we were doing, laying down on our backs, think of pressing that left thigh down and away from you. Getting deeper into the glutes. Push into that right foot, come all the way up and release. Let's switch sides. Lean on your left leg. Pull the right leg up and step it back. High lunge. Feet are hip width distance apart. Try to get your left knee to stack over the top of your ankle. Draw your navel in, tailbone down. Lift out of your lower back and grow a little taller as you reach up. And we want to feel the energy go all the way through to the fingertips, and even imagining it could go beyond. So no dead hands, no dead toes, activating the entire body. And we're gonna tilt forward, so arms go back as your chest leans forward, roll your shoulders back, draw your lower belly in, bend into your front knee a little bit more. So wobbling is normal, but try not to let your left knee move side to side. Keep it facing directly forward. Squeeze and lower a little bit more. Push and come all the way back up. Hands at your heart, straighten your front leg and bring your back foot in a couple inches, pyramid pose on the second side. So square everything off first, then lift and try to maintain a flat back as you start to hinge forward. So we're working this pose a little bit differently. It's not about releasing all the way down to the floor. Instead, see if you can keep your hips in their proper alignment, facing forward, lifting up through your quads, so you're lifting up through the kneecaps, and rolling your shoulders back, reaching the crown of your head forward. Trying to feel it in both legs. Push into the floor, come all the way up. And we'll find our standing pigeon pose. So stand up, bring that right knee up, and then you're gonna cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. Send your hips back as you reach your heart forward, trying to push that right knee down. Notice if you're gripping your toes into the floor. So these are challenging poses, but you can do hard things. And if you fall out, it's really no big deal. Push and lift back up, and let's release. Widen your feet so they're as wide as the edges of the mat, and just let yourself come back down into that Ragdoll Fold. So for sure you can bend your knees here. And just let your head be heavy, neck relaxed, little traction through your spine. And you might take some cleansing breaths here, in through the nose and a big sigh out the mouth. Just feeling and noticing how your practice affects you. And maybe one more time asking yourself what you want your intention to be today. And we'll come back into that Yogi Squat. Heels in, toes out, bend the knees, drop your hips down. Lift and lengthen up. And come down to take a seat. So we'll finish off with a spinal twist. We'll do it seated rather than laying. So you can start with your legs out in front of you. Bend your right knee. You're going to cross your right foot over the top of your left thigh. And then go ahead and bend your left knee so that you have your heel in towards the glute. Push down into your toe and squeeze and lift up. You can hug your right leg with your left hand. And maybe your right arm stretches back behind you as you open up and rotate here. Try to eliminate any rounding through your spine. We want to stay lifted and tall. And coming all the way back to center, uncross, bring both legs out in front of you. See if you can lift up, a little boat pose. Boat pose, so lift up, roll your shoulders back, and try to close the gap between your thighs and your belly. And release, stretch out your legs. We'll go to twist on the other side. Left foot crossing over your right thigh, and your right knee can bend to bring that heel in nice and close. Hug and hold onto your left leg with your right arm, and bring the left fingertips behind you. Push into your big left toe so you're not rolling on the outer edge of your foot. And one more inhale all the way down to your belly. And release the face forward. Last time into your boat pose. Go ahead and lift the legs up. Squeeze in. And feet come flat to the floor. We'll take butterfly pose before we close into our seated meditation. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. And just let yourself naturally round and fold, not using any particular strength or effort here. Making this really passive. Squeeze, lift all the way back up. And I like to finish morning practices with a meditation as opposed to laying down in Shavasana, just in case I fall back asleep. But it's up to you at home what you would prefer. So maybe sit in a way that is comfortable for your hips and for your lower back, or you can lay back down. Where we're all looking to lengthen through our spine. So reaching the tailbone further away from the crown of the head, lengthening crown of the head up. And come back to a natural breath rhythm, so not one that is forced or overly controlled. Scanning through your body to acknowledge how you feel now versus when you first stepped onto your mat. And as you connect to your heart, the energy around the heart, see if there's one word that comes through for you today. One word that captures the essence of what you want this day to be all about, how you want to feel, or what you want to focus on. And we'll bring our hands together at the front of the heart, closing with the chant of Om one time to set this intention and close our practice together. We'll inhale to chant. So big breath through the nose, inhale. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis, for doing this practice. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me a comment below so you can let me know what your word of the day is going to be. And if you want to practice with me every single morning, I have so many morning yoga classes, and I also have a morning yoga movement 30-day challenge. I'd love for you to join. And you can also follow it up with this video right here that you might enjoy. Thank you. Namaste.